So I actually debated this guy years ago in Texas. For those of you guys that don't know, a channel called Modern Day Debate hosted this cool real-life event where basically me, a bunch of other content creators left and right, we all met at a hotel, and we all got like we stayed in the hotel, but there was a rental of the sort of common room, the hall where they do events, and it was a big debate event, and I debated a couple people. Notably, one of the people I debated was actual Justice Warrior. And the consensus, from what I remember, was that I did quite well. Perhaps that I even won that debate. Took the W home and all that. It was actually just a fun time. You know, it was just really cool to do a real-life debate. Face-to-face with your opponent. And then, of course, just the fact that it was a face-to-face thing made it a lot less nasty. It was a lot better faith than most debates tend to be. And, as much as we disagree, actual Justice Warrior was actually a pretty polite, chill person behind the scenes. Absolutely nothing but positive things to say about actual Justice Warrior, the YouTuber we're about to be covering, from when I met him behind the scenes. Like behind the scenes, he was just a genuinely nice person. I would feel bad to say anything negative about him because he was just a chill fucking guy. Not a bad thing to say about him. We talked briefly. There was some point where we were waiting for another debate event to happen, because we'd done our debates for the day. I was done debating for the event, and we were just sitting at a table. It was me, my girlfriend at the time, actual Justice Warrior. I think Nuance Bro was there, and I think Destiny was there too. Dylan was there. Infrared was there. It was a wild event, man. But yeah, ironically though, some of the most pleasant person, one of the most pleasant people I met at that event was actual Justice Warrior. Genuinely. There were many people that were on my side politically I got along with worse than I did with actual Justice Warrior. That is to say, he's got some cringe takes in my opinion, but he's not evil. I feel like I can look into someone's eyes and figure out if they're a bad person who's a dishonest figure. And I didn't get those vibes. If you don't believe my intuition, believe that I have seen him in person and debated him in person and you haven't, and he seems genuine to me in a way that you can't determine in any way other than directly in real life. His politics aren't great though, right? That is to say though, he's not just a racist trying to push super far right ideology while couching it in more moderate beliefs. He's not one of those people. He's not a Nick Fuentes, or I should say, a Nick Fuentes before the mask slipped. And that is why actual Justice Warrior is getting canceled by his own fans right now. Because he made a video. I've had this on the screen with no context. We're about to acknowledge this, don't worry. The elephant in the room will be acknowledged. Actual Justice Warrior put out a video criticizing this right-wing podcaster for doing blackface. And in response, his fan base went nuts at him. So we're going to watch a bit of this actual Justice Warrior video, breaking down literally just why this kind of shit is not okay, and he doesn't want to see other conservative pundits doing this kind of stuff, because it is blatantly racist, and he's not on board with that. And the response from his fan base, he's more or less been canceled by his own fans for it. And I'm wondering now if he, recognizes this as kind of a wake-up call as to the kind of people that his rhetoric has attracted. And it's less so that, he's attracted them and is changing their minds. It's more that he is saying enough to keep them appeased, but they don't see him as radical enough for them. They're getting mad at him for having takes that don't align with them. He's not bringing them out of that radical hole. He's just satiating them while they wait for something more radical to come along. So with that in mind... Oh, wow, thank you so much, StarWatcher02. That's extremely kind. With that in mind, if you end up liking this video, leave a like, a comment down below, hype the video, and subscribe if you want to see more. Let's get right into seeing what actual Justice Warrior said that got his fans so pissed off.
By the way, half the struggles that black women think they face, it's of their own f***ing doing. Running around in nails like this, running around in earrings like this, you people fight every day. You people fight every day. Could you choose any outfit and get up that's, less conducive to fighting?
So a couple...
What a bitch. Wow. What a racist bitch. I could go all in on that argument, or lack thereof, just line of racist stereotypes and dog whistles. But I'm just gonna leave it at, what a racist bitch.
months ago, or maybe a year ago, I'm not really sure, I was talking to a friend of the channel, Devin Tracy of Atheism is Unstoppable. Use promo code RUE over at censored.tv if you want to watch his content and support him.
Was he at the event too? I think he was at the event too. Did I meet him? Wait, no, I don't think I did. I don't think Atheism is Unstoppable was there, actually. Never mind.
Or support him over on Subscribestar if you want to see his videos. And during the course of that conversation, we ultimately ended up arriving at the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, there were better times on the internet.com, and specifically those better times were when there was like 5 people talking about the reality of black criminality on the internet, and Devin and I were 2 of those 5 people. And the reason we ultimately ended up coming to that conclusion, or at least I did.
Now, that reads kind of salty, okay? That reads kind of salty, that at one point it felt like you had a market cornered on a certain type of content, and now that the market has expanded and you have less of a monopoly on a certain political perspective, that there's a little bit of salt coming from that. It kind of reads that way, don't get me wrong. But I also see where he's coming from, because, you know, let's be real. Actual Justice Warrior is not anywhere near the bad politics of the average right-wing figure these days. Fundamentally, me and Actual Justice Warrior agreed on all of the data and stats. The only thing we couldn't come to a agreeable consensus on was whether or not racial policing bias was a large contributor to the disproportionate incarceration rate for black Americans compared to white Americans. At the end of the day, we just couldn't come to an agreement on the fact that, in my opinion, racist incarceration practices end up contributing intensely to that stat. Though we do agree that there are cultural and, you know, systemic barriers that hold black Americans back. So he's not like a fully like bootstrap, like we live in a perfect meritocracy kind of conservative. But yeah, I mean, my point being, he's not. I kind of agree with him here. I kind of do think things were better when he was one of, like, the 5 people talking about this topic, because when he was one of those people, there were far fewer Nazis talking about this topic. And Actual Justice Warrior is not a Nazi. That I can confirm.
From my side of the conversation is because you realize that there are really, really stupid people. The bar keeps getting significantly lower that are not mature enough in order to handle these topics. And what ultimately ends up happening is that these kind of people end up creating an environment where the pendulum is going to swing back in the other direction because they don't understand the purpose and the value in having these conversations in an informed and effective way. And a perfect example of this is Lily Gaddis, but honestly, it could be any individual that decided that this Halloween they were going to do the blackface because they're going to be super ultra edgy, because these types of influencers are essentially held up and propped up in order to be things to be made fun of, to draw negative attention, and ultimately the result of that is hurting the very policies that I'm interested in advocating for.
He is talking from a completely logical perspective as a conservative. That this kind of stuff does not make the Republicans and conservative movement look good. It's not a good look. It kind of validates a lot of the left, our biggest criticisms of the right. And if they want to win, maybe not being a literal caricature of a conservative maybe that's a good idea. Maybe being, as a conservative pundit, you shouldn't try to be a literal caricature of yourself. And the response from Actual Justice Warrior's audience wasn't just offense at his, like it's not even like they're mad at him for having a moral opposition to the concept of doing blackface. They're mad at him for calling out how ineffective it is, how arguably counterproductive it is to the conservative movement to behave this way. They're mad at him for thinking pragmatically. Ironically, proving his point that our society is going to experience a big pendulum swing to the left soon, where people are going to reactionarily jump more to the progressive side in response to the right beginning to continuously show their true colors. And you know that when conservative pundits are calling this out and recognizing the pendulum swing to the left is coming, not just progressives wishfully hoping for it, but conservatives openly fearing that it's coming, that's how you know it's actually coming. But the signs, the clues, they're actually there.
Not to mention the fact that it is actually legitimately evil to hate somebody based on the color of their skin. And again, doing blackface just to...
He does believe this, by the way. I've spoken to him. Yeah, he's not. I don't think racism, like as we mostly think of it, like hatred motivates him. I mean, like you might think I'm being too generous, by the way, if you're like aware of actual Justice Warriors takes and like general history, and that's fine. You know, I just have a bit of a unique perspective, and I want to give it that some conservative pundits that I have met come off as way more genuine than I would have ever guessed through their online career. And when that happens, I'm always like, well, fuck. Is my radar bad, or am I just getting like fooled? I don't know.
Be like, I'm edgy, does significantly more damage, not just to you and your personal life, but to the people around you, because then there ends up becoming this weird kind of defensive mechanism, which, by the way, you will see some of that in the comments, where people jump to defend this piss poor behavior. And that backlash or blacklash is definitely coming, and this is what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money.
Do that to me, though. I do need this. How do I get a how do I get one of these? How do I get a Anna Kasparian e-beg gif to play on my stream? I need this. Yeah, I got to figure out how to make this happen.
Okay? Let me turn this racist stream around into something positive. Okay, black women, listen up. Listen up. A black woman
They're not watching.
is speaking. When you are fighting,
Shut up.
when you are going to bat, okay? Before you wake up in the morning, get out of bed and you have to think like a fighter. You have to put yourself in the mindset of not, oh, it's just easy breezy and I might pick up a fight or a felony later on. No, that is the wrong mindset to have. The correct mindset to have is that you wake up every day knowing that every day is a fight. Every day is a potential crash out. Every day is a potential chance to chip out.
Now, I stumbled across this
Just know that woman is going to be a miserable alcoholic whose life is falling apart in no more than 10 years from now.
video on Halloween, along with many other posts of alleged conservative media figures doing blackface, and I remember basically reposting this particular video with the caption that this goes in the category of nope, and then in my replies to me posting this, I ended up getting people saying, Sean, you've gone totally woke. I don't know why you're so woke now, Sean, as if saying, you know, maybe blackface just for the purpose of humiliating black people based on their race is not exactly the direction that we should be going in, is somehow a woke position. As if me, somebody who actually put my name, put my face on the line to talk about the problems in the black community, to go after Black Lives Matter in their most prominent cases, when,
like I said, he's cringe on a lot of topics.
by the way, it was not popular to do so, who has made enemies of the Innocence Project, specifically based on the fact that they weaponize race in order to get guilty black men out of prison. A lot of times, those are people who kill white people, and that...
Unfortunately for Actual Justice Warrior, he believes the majority of his audience watches his content for the same reason he makes his content. And that is a very difficult barrier to get across as a creator. To realize that just because you're successful doesn't mean what the reason you're making your content is the reason people are watching your content. I'm not saying bots, no. I think from his perspective, he likes criticizing the idea that the criminal justice system is heavily weighed by bias. He disagrees with that perspective and believes that behavior, not bias, is what contributes to these stats. And he actually cares about talking about these things. And I think that he assumes most of his audience watches his stuff because they also share a passion in recognizing what they see as an unpopular interpretation of data. And for Actual Justice Warrior, I think he's in the situation where he doesn't realize his fans don't watch him for that. His fans watch him to hear plausibly deniable arguments that heap responsibility for crime statistics, violent crime, whatever it may be, on black people, so that they can use those arguments to then build up to a claim, or should I say a prescriptive statement about the place where black and white people should be in this country, like where these groups belong, quote unquote. And I think in his perspective, he thinks it's just a important conversation. And for his viewers, it is training to have more arguments to make a white supremacist prescriptive argument after the fact. And I don't know if he's made that connection, because the reaction to this video is so negative. And he's talking as if most of his fans would give a fuck about the fact that he's criticized these things, when what they're going to be mad about, and all they're going to be thinking about, is the fact he is saying, maybe don't do blackface. That's all they're going to care about, is the fact he said, maybe don't do blackface. And they're going to latch onto it, and they're going to in the comments over it.
Somehow means that none of that matters because I won't endorse this crap. Like, it's genuinely ridiculous that I, of all people, have to say this to you guys out there in the audience. But if you didn't know, if you're unaware, it's actually legitimately not cool to hate somebody based on the color of their skin, or just to target them for being a black person. Like, you guys understand that, right? Like
I wish I could say the majority, or at least the vast majority of people watching this video did get that.
We should get past level 0 of the conversation, but the thing is, people like Lily Gladys and all these different various people who posted themselves in blackface for this Halloween that reportedly are on the conservative media side can't seem to get past this. Now, I will give one quick exemption, because people are going to leave messages about it in the comments, and that is, of course, for Brittany Venti, also known as Brittany20, because she happens to be half black, and honestly, I don't...
I don't even know if that's ever been confirmed, by the way. Like, Brittany Venti has said that, and done as many, like, racist things as she can possibly do, and used it as an excuse. But I ain't ever seen her confirm that shit. You know? Like, she definitely doesn't look like she's 100%, like, Anglo-Saxon white, or whatever the fuck. But, I don't know if she's half black at all. I don't know. I mean, I'm not good at, like... I don't have a race radar, or whatever. But Brittany Venti has been just maintaining relevance on the internet by being as racist as possible about black people for more than a decade now. She's gotten a little old. Her whole bit has gotten a little old.
Know what the social protocol is for somebody who's already half black or partially black for darkening their skin, so you could take that one off the board if you want. But what I want to focus on is this idea that in conservative media, we elevate anyone, and I mean absolutely anyone, no matter how stupid, vapid, and empty of a person they are, because they're quote-unquote edgy. Because guess what? It's not actually edgy. It's not something that actually ends up having any consequences, which is what edgy humor actually had in the past. These are just people appealing to the lowest common denominator, and Lily Gladys's whole entire career is...
Damn, bro's saying the quiet part out loud. He's saying the quiet part out loud. The simple fact that this is a good image for the thumbnail. I don't want to make him look unhinged for the thumbnail, but I want to make him look, like, shocked, you know, at the chat, getting all mad at him. But, yeah, I mean, actual Justice Warrior, I don't think he realizes that a lot of the audience of conservative content, like, they consider creators like him diet-based. And the further right you go, more often than not, they see that as just more based. And so when he makes this, like, very reasonable perspective take, they don't see him as being, like, a rational figure. They see it as him being even more diet. You know what I mean?
Is just that. Remember, we did a video on her when she rocketed to attention and fame early on in her conservative media speedrun, and I talked about how her rocketing to fame is one of the most embarrassing works of simpery I've ever seen in my entire life, because this woman was just straight up pandering, saying the things that you want to hear, while of course she was cooking up her chicken, which, by the way, obviously she's not making anything. She's just doing the fake I'm cooking at the time that I'm talking about these ideas style of content.
Okay, I'm speaking to the men right now.
Oh,
So,
it's this fucking lady. Oh my god. Oh. Damn.
I think you guys are really worried a lot about your gym muscles and that it's not like perfect or whatever. I don't know what I'm doing with this avocado.
You want to know what's so great about this rage bait? She has, like, no tone at all. Like, she has absolutely no muscle tone. This is a woman who definitely watches her weight when it comes to her diet, but does not work out. You know what I mean? Like, she's not overweight. She's not necessarily out of shape, so to say, but she isn't athletic. Like, that's what's so perfect about this blatant rage bait for gym dudes is that gym dudes will see her and be able to tell that she does not work out. She doesn't lift, and she has absolutely zero tone. Like, she's literally just like a squishy ball of flesh. No tone whatsoever. So she does not work out. But normies won't know that because she's thin. So normies will just think she's fit, quote unquote. But the gym bros she's rage baiting right now are going to be like, you don't have a single ounce of toned muscle on your body. How are you going to talk shit about us? It is such perfect rage bait. Wow.
Gym muscles, and then it's not like perfect or whatever. I don't know what I'm doing with this avocado. But girls don't care. In fact, I actually do not like gym guys at all. And let me explain to you why. So, you know how guys, you guys are not a fan of like fake eyelashes, fake fingernails, fake lips, fake boobs.
Some are. Many are, okay? Like young 20-something-year-olds on the internet aren't a fan of those things, but like 70% of the male population is. They may not say they are. Actually, I'd say even among many of those people, in opportunity given, they would take it.
I don't know, fake hair. I don't know. You know that look. You know what I mean? Well, that's exactly the equivalent for girls with super extreme gym guys, like who have the perfect body. It just seems like, ew, like you're a...
Okay. If you're working out for somebody else, you're doing it wrong. Okay? You have to work out with the mindset of an anime protagonist, alright? You're training to beat yourself. If you're better than your past self, then you're succeeding. At any given point. That, like, this idea of, like, she's feeding into, like, this weird, like, marketplace of dating nonsense.
Obsessed with yourself, all you do is look in the mirror and you're doing all these contortions with your body. That's weird. You know what I find hot? Hottest guy I've seen.
Like I said, now you can really tell my point from earlier. She so clearly doesn't work out. Not a single fucking bit of tone. Not even a bit, bro.
In the longest time. It's at the mechanic fixing my car.
She's never lifted something heavier than 8 pounds.
He's got like, first of all, he's got like grease on his face. He's got like real muscles from lifting tires and shit.
Real muscles from lifting tires. This is such good rage bait. Holy shit.
That's what we find attractive. That's feral. That's like base animal instinct, and I'm just like, I could eat you up.
Guys, come on. Do you not know when you're being pandered to? Do you not know? Do you not understand what's going on here? When you have a woman who is seeking fame and attention, looking into the camera and saying that the most attractive thing to her personally isn't guys with a lot of money that are in great shape, that are tall. It's guys that are greaseball mechanics. That's what she's super into, and she really wants you to know that because, again, she's just one of those girls that just appeals to the working man. She's just really on your side. She's just like you, and also, in order to get a little bit of attention, she's going to say the N-word here and there, and that is going to stir up a whole bunch of controversy.
Always be wearing small amounts of clothing and say slurs frequently. Easy male audience.
Okay, this time I have a beef with the male community. I give my criticisms to all because we are all about equity and inclusion here, right? So I'm sick and tired of all girls getting blamed, or like guys, certain guys, thinking that all girls are gold diggers. I don't know if it's because you get your information from those street interviews in like Miami at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub. You're getting the opinion of some dumb whores, and...
Okay, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of talking sense here, okay? Although, what the fuck is she doing? Look at that oil. Look how much oil she's putting on that chicken. One thing I will say is that she's kind of right about what she's saying here. A lot of those street interviews are just, like, interviewing the most, like, vapid hoes you'll ever encounter on Ocean Drive in Miami. Alright? Like, these dude bro, like, red pill guys interview these women who go to Ocean Drive to take selfies next to, like, rented supercars parked outside of the clubs on Miami Beach, okay? Like, if you are trying to filter for vapid chicks that are looking to get with a rich guy, you go to Ocean Drive, Miami at 3 a.m., and you find the chicks taking selfies next to all the supercars for their social media, and you ask them their opinions on men. And then you record it, and you post it online, and you convince a bunch of young men that this is how women think. Because you specifically went and found the most vapid fucking, and I'll say it, hoes you'll ever find. That's what they do. She's not even wrong about that low-key when it comes to the red pillars, but she is a rage-baiting racist, obviously. I'm just pointing out that that is true.
Immigrants fresh off the boat looking for a green card. Yes, they are probably gold diggers, but that's the exception. I'm the rule. Everybody I know who's married right now, they're
Okay, and then here's where it becomes cringe.
married to broke-ass
There it is.
and they don't care. We don't give
She
a
said the
about
N-word.
your money. I couldn't care less about your money, okay? My type is broke mechanics and surfer hippie dudes who just want to live in a shack and surf and have
Putting
babies.
more on.
Now look, in context, right there, she used the A instead of the hard R.
Yeah, like, you can tell she's trolling because throughout the video, she's applying, like, she used an entire thing of panko seasoning or whatever the fuck she was putting on there, and then opened up another one and added, like, 1/5 of the extra one onto it, and then closed it up. Like, she used a whole bottle and 1/5 of a bottle, just to, like, really hammer home that she is not actually cooking, if you're paying attention.
And obviously she wasn't referring to black people in general, so I understand why people gave her a pass on this, especially when the mob came out against her. But the fact is, this is not something that you should be elevated to any kind of minor stardom over, when in reality, this woman has no substance to her at all whatsoever. I mean, I've heard people like her, and maybe her specifically, say the words like crime statistics. What about crime statistics during a conversation without actually knowing the crime statistics, and then people just give her a pass because they backfill that like vacancy in any kind of argument or any kind of intellect with what they project to be on there, which is absurd. I mean, again, it's insane. If it wasn't for massive internet simpery, people would call out the fact that these people don't know anything. I mean, when I make videos and I bring the facts, I go over the court documents in order to tell you the actual story. That's what you guys come here for. You don't come here for...
There it is. Dude, I'm totally right. I'm totally right, aren't I? Like, he doesn't realize that the reason he makes his videos and why he wants people to like his videos isn't the reason people watch and like his videos. Like, it's a hard thing for YouTubers because you see your content is succeeding, so you assume your reason for making the videos must be why they're valuable. And you might be creating something that is valuable and you don't even recognize it's valuable. Like, I don't think he realizes the real value of his videos he didn't even realize he was creating was for a way more far-right audience to weaponize his more reasonable arguments to be used to make far more radical ones. I don't think he's realized why people were watching his stuff and what they were taking from it. And he assumed his reasoning for making it was right because the content was succeeding.
Me saying crime statistics and oh my god, the blacks, because again, that is vapid and empty content, and again, this kind of nonsense being rewarded ultimately ends up blowing back on the conservatives, on the things that we're trying to achieve, because these people are the most attention-seeking kind of people.
With that in mind, let me adjust my cap for the billionth time. With that in mind, you must wake up with that mindset, okay? Like white girls have to manifest things, you have to manifest too. You have to manifest yourself into the ultimate super warrior, okay? You have to turn yourself into the ultimate warrior princess of Wakanda and go outside.
All I can do is fucking cringe, man. She's trying so hard. Just say a bunch of slurs, and you don't even have to put that much effort in.
With that mindset in mind, and know this to be the case. You will fight. You will dominate. You will win. Hail the...
That's a thumbnail right there. That is a thumbnail right there. I tell you what. Look at that thumbnail. We're going to have, like, AJW looking, like, freaked out from that one frame, and he's going to be looking at her in blackface, Sieg heiling at the camera. If that thumbnail doesn't cook, then nothing will.
the black woman.
I mean, guys, seriously, like, what does this achieve? Like, what does this actually do? Do you find this to be, like, amusing? Because there's not really any comedic elements in here. It's not actually funny. It's not even that shocking because multiple people had the same exact idea on the same day. So obviously, we can see that this is...
Well, AJW, you're not literally racist. You don't actually hate black people. So just racism, period, that's the joke, isn't funny to you. And so to you, you're like, where's the joke? Where's, like, the subversion of expectation and societal norms? Like, you're just being racist and getting accolades for it. So how's it edgy? That's not the point. Like to them, like, just being racist is the joke.
Is not even that creative, and in addition to that, you're not winning over any hearts and minds. What you're actually doing is just ginning up controversy around yourself for attention in order for Lily and people like her to personally benefit off of that attention, while at the same time basically smearing the entirety of conservative media and the right wing by proxy. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Sean, they'll call you racist anyway. Again, I'm somebody who's been called a racist on the internet.com going on 9 years now for telling the truth about black crime. But the thing is, when you do a thing that is known to be racist, the label actually ends up fitting. And again, what is the result of this? She gets invited on Piers Morgan just so Piers can dare her to say the N-word in, by the way, a video that we covered in the past.
Say
You
the
will
M.
not have
Go on,
free
say
speech.
go on. Say the M.
Man, the conservative civil war is real, man. It is real. Like, these grifting, like, provocateurs are destroying everything that more measured conservative pundits have built. And AJW is right. There is going to be a reactionary pendulum swing to the left, away from the right. It is coming. Even the conservatives are calling it out. It's not just the left wishfully thinking, it's happening.
Word, go on.
No.
hang on.
Don't invite. No.
No.
I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to.
So much just happened there. For one, he said the N-word, if you didn't pick up on that. But then on top of that, he said he's the only black guy there. And the, is this Myron, fresh and fit guy, is just like, am I invisible?
Call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here, you and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and asking her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not.
He covers his face. Like, oh, wait, is he showing like a Nazi flag?
Sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're trying to do. But we already know she's racist. And I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you.
Now look, while Mark Lamont Hill melting down in that particular Piers Morgan segment actually saved said segment, again, I will emphasize that nothing of value has been achieved, and essentially what's going on is you're watching internet whoring. Like, you're watching somebody do whatever in order to get attention, in order to get money, destroy herself in order to do so, and this is exactly equivalent to what we would expect from OnlyFans people. And again, would we expect this girl in a few years not to try her hand at that eventually in the future? Because there's no root ideology right here.
Listen, I've been calling these crazy right-wing figures grifters for a long time. I pointed out they do everything they do for money and have no genuine belief in this for a long time, as have many on the left, and it hasn't made much of a difference. But AJW, you are welcome to join us. You are welcome to share in our pain and suffering at pointing out the obvious and being ridiculed and hated for doing so. Makes you feel like Jesus sometimes, because they hate you for telling the truth, am I right?
There's nothing to say that this person will stay a conservative because they're not really conservative right now. And again, this is obviously done in a mean-spirited way in order to target black people in a hateful way.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to the show. So last night was Halloween, as many people know, and I decided to dress up like everyone else does. You know, people are out there dressed like Satan and witches, and they're dressed like every horrible thing under the sun. Well, I decided to dress up as something, the most horrifying thing I could think of, which is the black woman, which is a person who is
Shut up.
angry and fed up that their EBT card has been declined.
Shut up.
That their race card is no longer working in this new
Shut up.
Alignment.
So look, obviously, black people are disproportionately on government welfare programs. Black women are disproportionately on programs like food stamps. We all know that. We all understand that. And if you were to highlight like a black family that I saw on a news report where the woman has 5 kids and she's like, how am I supposed to feed these kids? Or that Hispanic family when they're like, oh, well, we didn't choose to have kids, taking no responsibility for their own lives while
Okay, well, I mean, y'all oppose abortion, sex education, and easy free contraception, and you can't also say like, well, it's all your fault if you have kids, because like when you keep these measures away from people, like there's a good chance they're gonna have a lot less kids.
By the way, they're simultaneously incredibly obese, saying that they need to eat and they're gonna starve to death. That would be one thing, but just
yeah, even if you're obese, you can starve to death, believe it or not. That does happen. You have to hit your macros, even if you don't need to stay in a calorie surplus. You still have to hit your macros, because after like a week or two, maybe shorter when it comes to certain things that you don't put in your body, like obviously water, you can't go more than 3 days without. But if you don't hit your macros in certain areas, you'll get really sick. I mean, we all know about vitamin C. We all know about rabbit starvation. What's the berry? Is the one you get from rice, right? Like if you don't eat specifically enriched rice, but you rely a lot on grain that's not enriched in general, you can get berry. If you don't eat high enough fat and protein meat, you can get rabbit starvation. I mean, even if you're eating, not getting the proper macros met can kill you. We have names for diseases that kill you. Oh, brown rice. Yeah, because brown rice is actually less nutritious than white rice, which is counterintuitive. Yeah. I physically cringed when he compared her racist pandering to being a sex worker. Yeah, I mean, he's a conservative.
saying I dressed as black woman food stamps, haha. Like, seriously, what are we doing? Like, what is happening? Look, I am not sorry to say this, but this goes in the category of nope, absolutely not, ridiculous and absurd. And if you don't understand like what we should be fighting for, which is not just the random idea that we hate on black people and make them the center of our lives, much in the same way that a lot of woke black people make white people the author of every problem in their lives, then honestly,
do they really?
I don't know what to say to you. You just legitimately don't get it. And maybe simping for like these like low tier e-girls is what you're actually looking for on the internet.com. And if that happens to be the case,
I do like that. The internet.com. That is nice. I like that joke.
Go follow her on social media. Go enjoy the, oh, I did blackface, I'm so edgy content that doesn't have anything to it. Again, just to follow some like vaguely
Unfortunately, they will follow that content.
Attractive internet.com woman. I mean, come on, guys. This is the most simping thing I've ever seen in my entire life. If she offered even a percentage of substance, that would be one thing.
I mean, unfortunately, you may not see the content you do as supporting, like, hatred or racism, but there are a lot of people who watch your content, and that's what they take from it. And I know that's not what you want, but that is the reality, and we know that because the vast majority of comments, particularly the top comments, read as follows. Prepare to cringe. If black people can do whiteface with no backlash, I really don't care. Lol, they have been so racist against white people that they brought racism back, laughing crying emoji. The most educated, quote-unquote, demographic shouldn't be those that were held back in the 3rd grade 4 times. I'm sorry, you won't get me to give a shit that someone put some brown makeup on while the knockout game still exists. The shower cap, lol. The only thing missing is the incessant beeps. Sweat emoji. Trudy did blackface so many times he didn't remember how many. Racially harmful, I'm the victim. She did it wrong. You gotta make... Oh god, man. The Ultimate Warrior, Princess of Wakanda, was funny as fuck, though, laughing, crying emoji. I came for the comments, and they did not disappoint. Greaseball Mechanics, I think you owe Italians an apology. Hey, look at that. We got one comment that's not racist. Sorry, AJW, but the 13% needs to be called out. I am no simp, but blacks get government funding to go to university and write papers that advocate for actual genocide of white people. See Ashley Shackelford. Oh my god, Ashley Shackelford? Rusty Shackelford had a daughter? Or got married? Oh shit. Shackelford. Alright, Ashley Shackelford, white genocide. Oh, is this the lady who made... Oh, I remember this. This is the lady who gave a lecture in 2017 claiming that all white people were racist. I'm not joking. In 2017, she is a woman who gave a speech about all white people being racist in 2017, and this guy is commenting about her in 2025 as justification for his racism. Unbelievable, man. These people do not have goldfish memory when it comes to why they should be racist, I guess. They remember every one of these stories for a decade. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it entertaining, educational, enjoyable, or anything, then leave a like, a comment, and a sub if you want to see more from me. And don't forget to hype the video as well if you want to boost it in the algorithm. It really does help a lot. And of course, follow my social medias linked down below in the description, and join my fan Discord if you want to see more from me. Until next time, I hope you have a good one.